Good morning, everyone. Finally, we are here on week 4 of Limitless Monday Intellectual Life, and today I want to speak about something very important. This is the final week of this particular topic. So far, we've covered lifelong learning, focus on deep work, and critical thinking, basically tied into how you can enhance your intellect throughout your life. Today, I want to focus on speed reading and memory mastery. Think about this. How much more could you accomplish if you could read twice as fast? And if you can retain twice as much? Just imagine how that could impact your work, studies, and personal growth. Most people actually read 200 to 250 words per minute. But with the right techniques, you can actually double or even triple that speed while improving comprehension as well. Comprehension is very important. And memory, it's a skill, it's not a gift. You can train your brain to remember names, numbers, and most important details effortlessly. You can supercharge your brain. And those of you that know, as a brain coach, I do run memory classes, training classes, and a whole course of brain health enhancement, which is 8 weeks, where I teach you a lot of techniques on how to remember and how to make your brain actually function for longer. Our brain is like a computer. It has so many folders, quotes, that store different information in different places. So today, I just want to focus on reading and comprehension and how to remember what you're reading, because I feel that if you can read more, you can really learn more. So why does reading traditionally slows us down? So first, let's talk about why most people read too slowly, and that's really what happens. This is because of a couple of reasons. First of all, this is subvocalization. That's the silent speech. Most of us hear the words in our head as we read, which actually limits our speed to the same pace of speaking. You don't need to say every word to understand it. When you read, there is no reason for you to hear every word because you're actually slowing yourself down. The second reason is because we read word by word. Instead of reading chunks, many people focus on one word at a time. So the brain can process group of words, which makes it much faster. So how do we do group of words? That is really the way you learn speed reading, when you actually focus on several words at once instead of reading one word at a time. And the third reason is regression. Regression is going back to reread because of comprehension. When you read the words, you lower comprehension. Instead of training your eyes, move forward confidently. When you read back, you're actually slowing your understanding, and it slows down the whole process of reading. Write down in the comments which one is your method. Why are you slowing down when you're reading? Is it subvocalization, silent speech? Is it because you read word by word? Or is it because you reread or regress a lot? Now I'm going to give you a couple of techniques for speed reading that will help you read faster, but also improve comprehension. Comprehension is the understanding of what you read, and without that, whatever you read just passes through. So let me give you 3 most common techniques. The first one is use a visual guide. Just like we teach kids, use your finger as you read. It's actually very important for adults. You don't have to use your finger. You can use the pen trick. Use a pen to actually mark where you are. And you move your finger or your pen or even whatever, cursor under the word if you read online. That helps train your eyes to move a lot faster and smoother across the page. Number two, read in phrases, not words. So instead of reading one word at a time, try to chunk in 3 to 5 words. This actually instantly increases your reading and your understanding. And number three, train with a timer. Use a speed reading timer to track your progress. Try reading for 1 minute and count the number of words, then repeat to improve. So basically, you're training your brain to read a lot faster. These may sound funny, but these are actual techniques that I've learned through my brain coach, Jim Quick, techniques that many other brain experts teach, and that is work. That is absolutely work. You got to practice this in order to master it. I don't know how many books you guys read a month. I try, actually, last year, I finished about 75 books for the year. This year, my goal is 100. And it's not easy. I try to finish 7 to 8 books a month without actually not understanding. I try to understand. A lot of times I go live about things that I've read, and that was my aha moment. Because even if you read the same genre, even if you read the same type of reading, there's so much you can learn. So the more you can read, the more you can learn. And then the third key is memory mastery. How do you master what you read? Speed is great, but retention is really the key. If you don't retain that information, how are you going to use it? Because using whatever you read is as essential as reading it. If you just read a book and you put it back on the shelf, that becomes shelf help, not self help. So here are the 3 most powerful way to boost your memory. Number one, the memory palace technique. And I teach that in my 8 weeks course. There are so many different ways for memory palace. The first, most easy way is the memory palace of your body, because we all know where every part of our body is. And that's how I start my course. Then we go to familiar places. Imagine a familiar place like your home. You're going to assign each room specific pieces that actually help you move through that and tell a story. So that would be your story that retrieves details easily. So a memory palace, and I can't just obviously teach it in a minute. This is a whole techniques that I spend a whole lesson of about 90 minutes, and practice is the key. So you can read about it, or you can definitely register for my course. The memory palace technique is the most common technique that have been taught for years by many experts, from your body to familiar places. It could be your office, it could be your car. Our car has places that we know. Like, the way you can think about it, let's say you're starting to drive, you're going to work. So your first place is opening the car door. Your second place is to turn the igniter on the car. The third place would be to put your bag by your side, or whatever that sequence is. That creates a memory palace, because that sequence are specific places that your brain is already trained. So you know the first step is always opening the car door. That first place is your memory palace that is engraved in your brain. You cannot get in your car without opening the door. So when you train that and eventually put things in that memory, additional to opening the door, that stays with you. The second method is the 80-20 rule of memory. You don't need to remember everything. You just need to remember the 20 most important things that give you 80% of value. So focus on key takeaways. And again, people read and put the book back in the shelf without actually having a takeaway. So how do you have a takeaway? One method is what I use. I teach it. It doesn't have to be teaching. You don't have to be a teacher to master it. Just tell it to someone. Hey, I read this book. I learned whatever you learned, and that would stick with you. Whatever resonates with you most is probably the 20 most important percentage. When you tell it, it gives you that 80% value. because now you will remember it. You'll be able to use it for whatever reason that might be, whatever it is that you read that would really enhance your use for future. And the third method is known as the Feynman technique, Feynman, Feynman technique. If you want to remember something forever, teach it. Same way as I was saying with the 80-20 rule. When you teach something, it actually retains in your brain a lot more than any other technique. So just like I said with the 80-20 rule, if you can just teach that 20%, it would stay with you. If you can teach any simple idea, anything that resonates with you from the book, it means you truly actually understood it. And then it means that you will retain that for a longer time. As a professor of biochemistry, there are obviously a few topics that I always struggled with as a student. One of those topics, if you understand anything in chemistry, you'll know, was half-lives and nuclear chemistry and all that. I actually became to understand that when I started teaching it. That was the first aha moment for me. I was like, oh, so this is why we do this. Because when we start teaching things, we master things. So which of these techniques excites you most? What would you like to try? The memory palace, the 80-20 rule, or the Feynman technique? Drop down in the box and let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think, because your brain is capable of so much more than you think. This week I want you to practice speed reading for just 5 minutes a day. Use the memory palace for something important. Track your progress. If this intellectual month inspired you, let me know, because next month we are diving into emotional life. We're going to talk about how to master emotions, how to improve relationships through emotions, and how to build mental resilience. If today gave you value, share it, tag a friend, or let us grow together. Comment. Simply comment. Let me know that you're reading it and you're enjoying it and you're listening and trying to apply that in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you again next Monday. Looking forward to read your comments and hear what you feel about what it is.